While many tourists flock to the beautiful beaches of Jamaica for simple weddings, locals have wedding traditions that make getting married a monumental event. Weddings in the Jamaican culture are considered monumental events because of the traditions that are passed down. Researching this topic has led me to appreciate cultures that differ from my own and have enlightened me on wedding traditions that take place within different cultures. I have been interested in the traditions of the Jamaican culture ever since I attended a vacation with my family 5 years ago. In this speech, I will be explaining traditions that take place within each wedding, covering topics such as food, reception customs, and traditional clothing. To begin, let's discuss food. According to the article Jamaican Wedding Traditions by Kirsten McFarlane, the Jamaican black rum cake is a statement piece of each Jamaican wedding. Raisins, currants, prunes, and other assorted fruits are soaked in rum 3 to 4 weeks before the wedding begins to give it its flavor. Brown sugar makes the cake black, which is the reason the cake is called the Jamaican black rum cake. Buttercream frosting and pearl white fondant is used to decorate, and tropical flowers represent the beautiful beaches of Jamaica, giving it its statement piece. Traditional dishes and drinks that are served at a Jamaican wedding are of the bride and groom's choice. Curry goat is usually the main dish that each bride and groom choose, and the bride and groom hold a special meat choosing event where they go and pick the goat that they serve at their wedding. It's like a tradition that all the families come and gather and they pick the meat of choice. The bride's mother typically pays for the catering, or if she can't afford catering, then she chooses to cook a large meal for all of the guests. Traditional drinks that are served at the discretion of the bride and groom consist of if the bride and groom approve of drinking or not. If they do approve of drinking, champagne and wine are usually the drinks of choice. If not, Jamaican punch is served, which leads me to my visual aid. First, you take your pitcher, you add ice. Then, you add lemons, which is a big part of the Jamaican punch. You can squeeze lemon juice, or you can just drop them in there. Then, orange juice is added. Then lemonade. Passion fruit juice is also a big part of the Jamaican rum punch. And last but not least, pineapple juice. Jamaica is known for their tropical fruits, so this is why it's such a big drink served at each Jamaican wedding. And there you have Jamaican punch. Next, we will discuss traditional clothing. According to Jessica Clover's article, Traditional Jamaican Clothing, styles, colors, and influences explain the style of clothing within the Jamaican culture. Clothing in the Jamaican culture is full of vibrancy, like bright colors, and is based off of comfort and ease. The reason for this is because Jamaica's in a tropical location, which is really hot, so you're going to want something that's flowy, not too restricting. You want a basic earthy, airy feel to your clothing. That way you can represent the free feeling that you get when you visit a Jamaican beach. The clothing is a representation of the Jamaican history, and that is because traditional women's clothes has remained the same throughout history. The neckline of women's dresses for their weddings are modest, as well as the length of the skirts. They're typically calf length or ankle length, and the sleeves are short or long depending on the bride's choice. The bride also has a special tradition that is passed down from the mother. The brides typically take a piece of the mother's dress that they're mostly lace, so they take a piece of the mother's lace and sew it into their dresses to be part of their own, to have their mother with them on the special day. The bride's dress is also used later in life to clothe her kids when her kids are getting baptized, so that also helps throughout history. The grooms, they're not as traditional, but They get tailored suits, or they have their family pick out their suits for them. Third, I'm going to explain the traditions of the receptions and the customs that go along with it. The bachelorette parties or the bachelor parties are a very big tradition within the Jamaican culture. Most of the time they go out and party like typical parties. But the bridal party drinks bush tea. And the bush tea is a very big symbol in the Jamaican culture because the bush tea is to symbolize a cleansing of the body, and it prepares you for the wedding day. So that's why the bride and all of her bridal party drinks it. It is believed to have major health benefits, so hopefully it'll keep the bride in good health for the wedding day. While the grooms drink rum, which is a big statement piece in Jamaica because it's very tropical. Rum is a fruity drink, hence the fruity punch that we made. And most people like to add rum to their punch. It's just preference, personal preference. Weddings are often held on a local or private beach or a church that the bride and groom are affiliated with. So if the bride and groom are very religious, then they may choose to get married in the church that they go to, or they could go and get married on a local beach that the community usually gathers at. As for the wedding, the entire community is invited. They're all involved. Everyone in the Jamaican community is pretty close. And the local men typically help set up the reception. And for the reception, they have a giant tent. And the tents are made out of branches from coconut trees, which are popular in Jamaica. And they're decorated with flowers. It's supposed to symbolize the free feeling from the beaches, like stated earlier. The main dishes are served at the reception, and it's followed by the cake. The bride and groom choose what is served first, and typically it is the curry goat that they had chosen for their meat choosing selection. Receptions end with music, dancing, and fun. And the bride and groom are the first to leave while everyone else parties till the morning, and then they clean up, and that way the bride and groom can go off to their honeymoon. In conclusion, Jamaican weddings have unique traditions that are passed down just like any other culture. I have now finished explaining the traditional food, apparel, and reception customs that play a role in the Jamaican society. I hope that by introducing the Jamaican wedding traditions and their history, you now have a new understanding about the Jamaican culture and possibly take the time to research these incredibly unique celebrations. If the Jamaican community stopped passing down these traditions, it could possibly end the whole community as we know it. It's a very monumental event, and they take it very personally. So if the Jamaicans had stopped these events, and it would drastically change the way that they live. Thank you.